Hey, everybody. This is Wes Lay coming at you with another Wellness Minute by Wes. And in this Wellness Minute with Wes, kind of interesting. I guess the whole premise for the Wellness Minute is to provide you with information and encouragement. I want to inspire you to take a look at alternatives, natural means to medicate yourself. I want to encourage you to take a serious look at your health and your wellness because, guys, so many of us take it for granted that what the doctor gives us or what we see on TV is the fix for all our ills. And I'm here to tell you that that's not always the case. They're practicing medicine, and you got to remember that. A doctor is practicing medicine. Now, what I'm going to share with you tonight is a wonderful guest, a great friend of mine. She's from Austin, Texas. I call her, she is a natural health nurse. She is a registered nurse by trade. She still is. She still practices. And she's going to share with you her story, how she has overcome autoimmune diseases because she has more than one. Fibromyalgia was one, and she's also a cancer survivor. I'm so excited to bring her to share her story and let you know how she has overcome her illnesses and her shortcomings or health issues naturally. And she did it outside of the mainstream medical profession, right? So let me welcome my guest here, Cheryl Lewis from Austin, Texas. Thanks, Cheryl, for joining in. I really appreciate your time tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wes. I appreciate you having me here, and I'm glad to be here to try and educate and get some people some hope through health.
Awesome. Cheryl, you're from Austin, and I know you and Albert have been there you're not originally from Austin, Texas, right?
No, we're gypsies. I married a military man, so we bounced all around everywhere, and Austin was our home post-retirement. So we've been here since 2015. Awesome.
And prior to that, where did you get your education in for nursing? I mean, I imagine all over the world, right? I mean, Albert traveled everywhere.
That's such a loaded question. Okay, so I took the scenic route. So being married to a military man, I got the chance to stop and start and stop and start. So it took me a long time to get through, but we made it. So I began my journey in 1985. So,
awesome.
No, actually in 82 was when I started, on the quest of becoming a nurse, but I had to keep starting and stopping all over. But I guess I started in Cleveland, Ohio, where I'm from, went to Akron University. After that, we started, stop. And so I began again when we were in England, and I completed in England. So I was like, you move from here, I'm going to strangle you. I need to finish. So I finished in England as a British nurse. And then when I came back to the United States, I did my undergrad here, just to try and get me out of that dark area of a British nurse, So, I mean, I love my British nursing, but, it was hard to make that transition back to the United States. So I got my undergrad here just to, keep everything okay.
Cool. I got to say, hats off to you and those ladies in the nursing profession. I'm going to allow you to elaborate on what I'm going to share here in just a minute. I work in a hospital environment too as a maintenance technician. And so I crossed the paths with many nurses. In fact, I had a nice discussion with a good friend of mine who was a nurse a couple of weeks ago who was sharing a story. She was in the care flight. So she was in the traumatic stuff, right, in ER, and telling stories of nightmares that she would have if she sees the face of people who are, am I going to die? Am I going to die? So I can imagine and appreciate the stress that you have been on or been through. And the stress is because they're talking 12-hour days. I know the ladies that I deal with, they work, 4 12s or 3 12s and an off a day or two. And that's in addition to raising a family. So pretty stressful occupation.
Yeah, I mean, nurses are broken people because we're so busy taking care of other people that we don't often take care of ourselves. So yeah, the stress of the job, working, during the days, the weekends, on calls, major holidays, and you spend a lot of time away from your family, and that stress, was killing me, and it does many nurses. So it's like after a while being under that chronic stress, day after day, month after month. As a matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why we moved here to Austin, because I tried to get out of that stressful situation. One of my partners that I've worked with for many years, well over 16 years, she's a registered nurse. And she told me, her name's Pat Terry, she told me, Cheryl, you need to get out of nursing. It's killing you. And I knew it was, but I didn't know how to make that work, how to get out of it. And yeah, you know, years after years, it was like, it was a rippling effect, a cascade of multiple problems. Fibromyalgia, yeah, that's one. I also have another connective tissue disorder, and living in that stress over and over again, it started so many problems. I mean, every year there was something else: benign tumors, fibroids, gastroesophageal reflux, neuropathy, you know, all of these problems that was coming that started from stress. Stress will kill you if you don't get that managed. So, I mean, there is some stress that's helpful, you know, that flight or fight, you know, that's helpful in the situation when you have to deal with something, when you got to deal with something or run. But when you have that chronic stress day in and day out, very detrimental to your health.
Yeah, and I can go on with that because I've been doing a lot of reading about stress, and stress is brought about because the brain secretes cortisol. Cortisol, and your body gets accustomed to that. It becomes addicted to that, just like a drug, and it wants more, and it wants more, and it wants more. And actually, when you're going into a stressful environment, there are parts of your body that actually shut down to free up more blood and oxygen to go to muscles to provide strength and bursts of energy.
Yes.
As in the case of fight or flight, you know, back in the old days or back prehistoric days when we're running for our lives from a dinosaur or something, that was the purpose of that stress reaction, right? But now we get into that stress environment and we stay that way, which leads us right into what you were saying. The stress environment, I know my wife suffers from fibromyalgia, and I was, what education I have, and I'm not a doctor, but I was informed that a lot of her fibromyalgia symptoms are brought about by traumatic experiences, which we're talking about stress, and it's the body's reaction. And now we got a chronic inflammation issue, and the body actually starts attacking itself, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And so the stress led into fibromyalgia and other issues. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is that if we don't control it, I mean, the body gives signals, and I had loads of signals because every year I had more and more problems. But here's the problem with what we have, okay? In the healthcare system, when you come in with these symptoms, okay, the doctor is going to react. That's what they're there for. Okay. And I'll don't let me forget to get back to that. But when you come in, they will normally write you a prescription for whatever symptom you're telling them about that's giving you problems. But here's the situation with that. One, drugs were not meant to heal the body. Okay. They were meant to sort of symptom manage. So here's the thing that we get in, and the problem that I had as a nurse. You get a medication, you get side effects, then you get another medication, you get side effects, medications, you get side effects, and that system just keeps going on and going on. I was on 2 Walmart bags full of medications because I had all of these symptoms that just kept going on. Now, I just want to explain and clarify a little bit on the healthcare system, okay? Because I know they get a lot of flack because a lot of people are not getting better, and people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. You hear that all the time. But let's clarify roles, okay? Because I think people get a little bit, they have some misunderstandings. What is the role of the doctor? The doctor's role is to stop you from dying, to prevent you from dying. They do that. They do their job. Now, the thing is, who's responsible for getting you well, for getting you healthy? It's our job. That's our job. So we're not doing our job. Now, there's one more step to that. Who's teaching us how? This is where I come in, and people like me come in to sit over here and teach some natural solutions to get you back to a healthier, or an optimal level of health. So
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's so very true. Personal responsibility. I mean, we need to accept personal responsibility, and that's part of the reason for this program. Is I want to inspire people to look outside of the norm. Don't take it for granted. Get on Google, start doing some reading, start asking some questions. So, how were they treating your fibromyalgia? I mean, you had cancer as well. I don't know how these all played. You had numerous health issues, and all stemming from numerous car accidents. I think you had a couple of car accidents.
That might have triggered everything starting, because I grew up in health and wellness. Okay, since I was born, you got hit with health and wellness. You got hit with the 8 laws of health. I knew about health and wellness. So in my head, nursing was the natural thing to do. Now, once I got into nursing, I started seeing that, hey, all I did was teach people how to live with their diseases and take medications for the rest of their lives. So they were basically on medication auto ships. So the thing is, you're going to be on an auto ship. You see what I mean? You're going to be either on a medication auto ship, or you can invest in your health and be on a health auto ship. So, my role is to sort of educate people, because what they decide to do with that education is so totally up to them. But it's my responsibility, my passion, to sit over here and educate people on a better way than those medications. Okay, now I'm not anti-medication. I feel we just overuse them, because there's a time and a place for everything. It's just not every time and not every place. So, let me see, what was I going to say? Yeah, I had the car accidents long time ago, and then that kind of cascaded. But living under stress and anxiety, not eating, not sleeping, not able to exercise, dehydrating myself was very, very difficult, So it's like I had to try and get back to a better place, because I was on so many medications and I wanted off.
So you were telling me you were actually on 2 Walmart bags of medication. So we're probably dozens of pills, dozens. CVS or your pharmacy probably loved you, right?
I'm sure.
I know my wife was on several of them as well. So at what point did you decide enough is enough? I know you've been in wellness, so obviously as a nurse and the health and wellness, you knew or had been reading or been alerted to other alternative ways of taking care of yourself other than what the doctors were prescribing through the pills. What point did you finally break the camel's back? Did it finally force you to step out and say, all right, that's enough. I'm going to do something different? And where did you go?
Okay, so my stress that I was living under did not stop. And once we moved here to Austin, I tried to get a job that was like Monday through Friday to kind of keep me safe. But my part-time job quickly turned into full-time hours. And I was back into that, long hour days again, and not taking care of myself. And that was in 2015. I got here in March. And when I started to I didn't have a physician here. So I had to swap over from where we were living to here, needed to get a physician. So one of the doctors that I worked with became my primary doctor, and I found a lump, and that took me in. So, I mean, lumps, were running in my family. I've had bazillions of them, and I always get them checked out. This was no different. But in October of 2015, October 23rd, 21st, I got that call. Cheryl, I'm sorry. I have to tell you this, you got cancer. And that rocked my world. So, I just want to know, wanted you to know I've worked in hospice many, many years, and I wasn't used to being on this side of cancer. I'm used to nursing people through. So it was one of those, what do you call it? The peanuts, wonk, 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 wonk. That was what happened to me. It's like, I heard your lips moving. I didn't hear anything, but it was at that point that, things got really, really, really serious. So I went through radiation. I had high dose radiation. I ended up with radiation toxicity. And
What is
Radiation
that?
toxicity. Okay, I had radiation to the left side of my chest, and then my right side of my hand went black. The back of my hand, the front of my hand, and the nail beds. And no one could help me or tell me why. I did some things to try and help myself. Nothing worked. And so I was really just praying for an answer, praying for something to help me. And then it was like, just help me out the stress, you know, that I couldn't get out. Help me with my autoimmune. Now help me with this radiation toxicity. Someone that we knew and trusted told us about something that they thought, about a company that could help me. And they said that there was something that they had that was all natural, you know, and I was like, wow, I really got to investigate this. But because I refused all other treatment for me, for what I decided to do, I chose not to take any other treatment. So how I went forward really, really mattered. So I had to go and check it out, you know, make sure that it was pure, make sure that it was clean, and most of all, that it got results. And when I had tried it, because I could hardly get through the airport, you know, without leaning on my husband. I was so weak and lethargic, and I was having difficulty moving. Like, I call it a brain-body disconnect. It's like the brain says, get up, get you some water. The body said, oh, no, not today. And so I managed to get through the airport, and we went to go check out this product. And it was everything. It was clean. It was natural. It was pure. And when I had, you know, a little bit of it, I got, well, I say maybe if not immediate, very soon after, I was able to stand alone and let go of my husband. So I was like, you know, and the more products I did, the more it got my attention. And I had to go back to work because I had been off for 2.5 months. And so I was working in wound care at the time, very physical. And they were changing the computers and all of that. So I walked into, you know, new computers, all of this after being off for 2.5 months. And when I went back, because I was hoarding everything, you know, I was slurping off my husband's stuff, but I was hoarding all mine for when I went back to work. When I got back to work, I was taking everything. And I was back, business as usual. I had endurance, energy, good mental clarity. I was popping up with ideas, you know, and it was like everything was clicking. But the reason why I say this is because in all of I've been a nurse for over 26 years, nursed over 75,000 patients. And during that time, I have not seen the results in healthcare like what I've been seeing with the products that, you know, I have been introduced to. And I felt like there were other people like myself praying for an answer, looking for hope, and didn't know where to find it. And that is my passion, to sit over and educate everyone that I know that there is a better way. So
that's awesome, Cheryl. I appreciate you talking to me. I don't want everybody, or sharing that. I want everybody to understand that on my personal, or my business page here in my Wellness Minute with Wes, I purposely keep all company names out of the conversations because I'm not trying to push any particular product. And I think there's also federal trade regulations that we're not allowed to imply that we are selling something that's going, and we're not selling anything. And we're not trying to tell you that this is a cure-all, fix-all. This is a product that you found, that you received relief from. And obviously we're talking now, and you seem pretty vibrant and pretty excitable and a happy person. But I think it's important that we get your story out to people. The product that you're talking about uses the miracle tree, and I think everybody needs to know about that. We're not going to mention company names, but this miracle tree, can you tell us a little bit about this? I'm sure I know that's part of the product because you and I had talked prior to this interview.
Right. Well, okay. So the miracle tree has been around for thousands of years. Okay. People of indigenous, you know, places, they use it all the time. But what I like is the fact that, you know, I use a blend of the leaves, seeds, and fruits. And it was like, because of this special blend, because of the way it's harvested, because of the way it's manufactured, because it's fragile. And the thing is you do not want to lose the nutrients. Now, there are hundreds of peer-reviewed papers written on this. But you have to be careful where you get it, okay? Because it's not the same everywhere, okay?
Correct.
It's loaded in everything. It has 36 natural anti-inflammatories. It's got 46 antioxidants, and we all could use that. Everybody needs it, you know, young people, you know, kids. I mean, it doesn't hurt anybody. It's a plant. It's got your omegas 3, 6, and 9. It has all 20 amino acids, including the 9 our bodies don't make. Reason is because we're supposed to get it from our food source. Don't get me started on the food source. I mean, things are kind of messed up. There are food scientists that alter our food intentionally to keep us hungry, that remove the nutrients out of our food in order to keep us going back. And, you know, when we say supplementation, I use that kind of cautiously. Yes, it's a supplement, but when you say supplement, people have different views on what that means. I'm talking all natural when I say supplements. I'm not talking about go to the stores and get synthetics and things that have additives. The body has a difficult time recognizing it and breaking it down. It doesn't know what to do. But with a plant, the body knows what to do with that and knows where to go to, you know, what to do with it.
So if this is a plant, what you're telling me, what you were taking, what you started using is actually a superfood.
When you give the body what it needs, the body will do what it was designed to do. And that is to fix, to heal, to correct. It will do what it was designed to do naturally. Now, another thing about this tree, this plant, it's an adaptogenic, meaning that it's going to, when you mix it with water, it becomes enzymatically alive and it becomes bioavailable. I've been waiting for something like this because when you take it, it gets down into the bloodstream and it's going to go where it's needed to go in order to start correcting. So it's like you may take it for one thing, but if you've got something a little bit more serious going on, you know, or something that's a higher priority, it's going to go there first and start to correct.
That's awesome. I want to cut this off here pretty soon because we could talk forever. I do appreciate you sharing this information, but Cheryl, share with us, so the fibromyalgia, where are you at now? You're cancer-free, right?
Yes.
Am I safe to say that? Hallelujah on that.
So according to the medical system, you can't say you're cancer-free for 5 years. So okay. I'm 3 years out on that. But I claim it, you know, because the mind is a powerful thing, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So I claim it, yes, I am cancer-free.
And fibromyalgia,
so far.
The fibromyalgia symptoms, where are they at? Are you on any medications or?
Okay, right now to date, I don't take any medications. Do I have exacerbations and remissions? Yeah, I still do. So it's like when I go out of balance, my body goes out of balance. Because it's like if I'm not sleeping well, if I'm not eating well, if I don't exercise, if I don't get all the nutrients, if I eat wrong, you know, if I'm dehydrated, there are things that can throw me back in if I'm not careful. But here's the thing. I know what I need to do, and I can sit over here and get myself back. Now, what I have found is that my exacerbations have spread out, you know, so it's like they're not rocking and rolling like they used to be, keeping me in agony. You know, it's like they have spread out, and it's like, you know, like I said, if I do get it, I know what to do to get back, and I don't have to take medications for them.
So since you started using this natural product that you found, and if anybody's interested in information on the product that Cheryl's using, you can reach out to her through her Facebook Messenger or ask me, and I will provide you with the information that you need or that she's using. We'll hook you up with her. But anyway, Cheryl, I just lost my train of thought. So where you're at right now using this, when you go back to your doctor, when you went back to your doctor for your cancer, I'm sure you had a follow-up and you've had checkup, and for your fibromyalgia, and he sees where you're at right now. Does he ask you what you're doing? And if you share with him what you're doing, how does he feel about the fact that you stepped out and took a natural alternative and took action on your own to try to help better your health?
Okay, so here's the thing, you know, I long for the day that we can get a little closer, you know, with healthcare, because I still think that there's a bit of a disconnect. Now, I am happy that, you know, what I take is in the PDR. That's a big step, you know, in the physician's desk reference. So that shows that there's recognition, but I don't feel that we're there yet. So one of the things that I did before I had surgery, I had to make sure that what the other connective tissue disorder was not lupus. Here's the reason why. Because if I had gotten radiated and it was lupus, and I say I had to have a mastectomy or whatever, you've taken my chances away for reconstruction. So I had to make sure, I'm like doubly sure, no surgery, nobody's touching me until we find out that it's not lupus. So to the best of their ability, it's a connective tissue order. They're not sure which one it is. It could be several. So the thing is that I would have to literally go worse into that disease process, which ain't gonna happen, in order for them to tag the name on it. So, but the thing is, like my rheumatologist, I told him, you know, what was happening, because before I had surgery, I was in an exacerbation. I could hardly get in. I could hardly get up on the table. And when he tested pressure points, I was screaming. So I screamed that entire office down because he had touched me and I was in so much pain and agony. So when he came back and he did that, I was out, you know, of pain. And he did ask, what did I do? And I told him it was crickets. You know what I mean? So I don't think, you know, we're at a place where, you know, hey, you know, let me know so I can help my other. So that's why I do what I do. That's why I do.
Just want to reiterate what you had mentioned earlier. Doctors they're meant to keep you from dying, right? Keep us alive. That's what they're, and it's up to us to accept personal responsibility for our health. It's up to us to accept personal responsibility to educate ourselves and to learn what to do. I mean, I think that's probably, and I'm not speaking for a doctor, but I would think if I was in the doctor's shoes and I sat down with somebody and told them, hey, you need to start getting more sleep. You need to exercise 30 minutes a day. You need to drink more water. You need to do this, knowing full well that as soon as they leave the office, 90% of them aren't going to do what I told them to do. Am I right? I think that's just society as a whole. It's human nature to take the easy way out. And because of that, we all pay the price. Cheryl, thank you. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, people are getting tired of that, so they are looking for some solutions. So for those people who are looking for the solutions, those people who are looking for an answer, then we just educate people to see if it's a good fit for them. So we want them not just healthy, but we want them healthy at home. Because in the healthcare profession, we try to fix them, and then we send them back home to where it all began in the first place. So we want to educate on how to correct those situations.
I am so thankful for you. I think I told you this before. You and I had talked before. My wife fought with fibromyalgia for several years, and you shared your story with her. Well, we actually talked about it, and she overheard it. She heard it, and it's really changed her outlook. And she is using the product that you had mentioned, and she's seen great results, and I'm so grateful for you for that. I hope this touches someone tonight, that somebody checks in and hears our video, and we'll explore the opportunities. Well, we can't promise anything, and we're not promising anything, but if you're interested in more information, you can drop a comment down below this video. I can hook you up with Cheryl, Cheryl Lewis, Lewis. You can find her on Facebook Messenger. Send her a message, connect with her on Facebook, drop her any questions. I'm sure she would share information with you. She is a registered nurse. I call her my natural health nurse. I think that's what she does now.
Yep.
Right? And she'd be willing to share with you guys. Thank you so much, Cheryl. This has been a wonderful episode. I'm so grateful for you and grateful to have you as a friend.
Awesome. Right back at you, Wes. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.